What's up? What's up? What's up, family? This is your boy Daniel Haru, comedic atheist on Edpn Entertainment Debate Programming Network, coming to you with a man. This is a fire. It's gonna be a fire show. Hopefully, my boy Chris Harris comes in. My boy Melvin Jefferson also comes in, and we gotta talk about this. We have to talk about this because it's pure madness. And the madness is which I'm talking about is the madness that's going around in these YouTube streets, these debate platforms, especially on HOK. We got my boy Chris Harris battling and laid to rest Judah Naz. I thought it was over with. Everyone would have thought it would have been over with. But apparently it wasn't over with because Sinetta set Judah up to debate Jabari after Chris. Not only was he put to rest, but he resurrected himself. And then Jabari put him back to sleep. How many times does this have to happen? This is crazy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the debate. We're going to go over some of this, and we'll see exactly what happened with Judah. One thing that I do notice with Judah is Judah used some of the same talking points that he did with Chris. Big mistake, because I don't know what type of camp he's in. I guess he's still Tour Knights. He's the leader of Tour Knights, but no one is telling his brother where he's going wrong at and where he should, strengthen his argument up at. No one is telling him this. You can see Sinetta's face when he's looking at him, right? And Sinetta is doing a great job moderating, bringing the entertainment, bringing the information, and Jabari, has to get into the ring with somebody else. Jabari looked like midway through, he was kind of like, man, what am I doing? The brother ain't even making arguments. I don't know. He's just all over this place. And Judah does Judah. He throw out a bunch of talking points. He throws up articles, but a lot of it is just, it's not there. You know what I'm saying? It's just not there. And so, I'm like, Judah, when are you going to stay on point? A lot of the things that Judah was saying, I was kind of, it was just like, he's talking about the language. He's saying this about, Jabari ain't a pharaoh. He's talking about, Amun Hotep. He's talking about, and this is a freestyle debate, which means that this debate, this dialogue can go anywhere it goes based on the opponents, based on the debaters, right? That's what it's saying. Which means that you got to be prepared for anything that can come up. Anything that can come up. And like I said, I really don't think that our brother Judah was too prepared for it. So let me do this. Let's bring up you know what I'm saying? Let's bring up the video. Let's bring up the video, and let's see kind of what happened. All right, let's see what took place. Here we go. Let's see. Here we go. This should be interesting. All right.
On my brother Dr. Reggie Garfield, we went out there, had some fun. We had some fun, bringing back some memories there. Captain called me, told me that he enjoyed coming back out there. So yeah, that's what's up. That's what it is. So here's the situation, y'all. Here's the situation. Judah Naz is back in the building. He didn't do so well on the last one, although he really believes that he knocked Jabari out. Hebrews always believe they won. He was definitely scholastically outmatched by the Floyd Mayweather. He got like 2 big black eyes just from jabs alone. And Jabari was hitting him with the jab, and he couldn't get out the way fast enough. So hopefully he can probably knock Jabari down in the 3rd round or something like that. I don't know. We're going to see if he learned anything. Without any further ado, I bring to you Judah Naz and Brother Jabari. Welcome back to the most toughest environment to be in right now, Judah.
Now, if anybody saw that last debate, he's completely right. Like this was the debate that him and Jabari had before, and I don't know why it is he continues thinking that he's doing as well as he's doing, but he should really look at that video, and he should really also look at take notes, and that's one of the things that Jabari is saying. Work at your craft. Work at your craft. One thing I will say is that when I met Chris Harris 5-6 years ago, and when he was in tour nights, and he was tour only. But while he was on there, Chris was continuing to be on other people's platforms. He continued to grow, even as tour nights, when he was exposed to information, his views started to change. He started to challenge himself based on what he believed to what he know. And that's how he ended up getting out of tour nights. So this is some of the same things that you see with Judah. Judah has, as far as on camera, he's entertaining, hella entertaining, right? But when you're dealing with a scholastic person who's trained in multiple fields, Africana studies, African history, and he's a priest. The antics that you use in dialogues on your platform, or the antics that you use anywhere else, is not going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to work. So he just has to do, he has to do better. So let's continue.
And Brother Jabari, how you doing, Brother Judah Naz? Unmute ourselves and talk black to me.
Thank you, Brother Sarnetta, for having me on. Shout out to Brother Jabari. Peace to you. As they say in the ancient Egyptian language, shalom. I'm not going to say hotep because that means destroy you, because we know your language. Well, it's our language. We talk y'all babies. We going to burp y'all tonight. Only on HOK do the Israelites, quote unquote, lose. But to the rest of the world out there, y'all know Jabari got knocked out. Performed CPR on him, killed him again. Performed CPR. Told you, Christine, she got knocked out. Judah Naz is young Iron Mike. Beat you up. Show you the Israelites run this. I told y'all last time, the Israelites run this. Oh yeah. You seen Jabari, when I said it came from East India, Jabari had to get comfortable. He kicked his feet up, sat back, and learned the lesson. He had no counter argument. You know what that means? That means the right cross and the left hook was working. He had nothing for me. And that's what happens. Tour Nights Mafia, shout out to the tanks on the ground, Ella Yara, Yap Gang, Whole House of Israel, except for them heathen Hebrew Israelites that don't like Judah Naz and the Israelites, because there is a difference between Israelites and Hebrew Israelites. And them weirdos, we don't deal with them just like they don't deal with us. But all praise to Yahweh, shout out to the whole house of Israel.
Okay, Judah, you said hotep means what before I bring it on Jabari? Because we're going to, Jabari, we're going to want to deal with that. You said hotep means what, brother?
Destruction.
And you can back all of that up.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So that's probably a topic we're going to discuss first. If it's up to Jabari, Brother Jabari, go ahead and open up for us, brother. It's on you.
Peace, family. It's always wonderful to speak to the Sonata TV Studios family, Black News 102. I'm honored to speak to you. I've had an extremely long day, and I'm extremely exhausted. Maybe I'm at 50%, but I'm going to say to you 50% is about 250% more than Judah Naz can handle. He almost knocked himself out just a moment ago. He just swinging his arms. Did he say that the Hebrews taught the Kemetic people how to read?
Yes.
Did he also say that hotep means destruction?
Yes, he did say that.
What is happening here, Sarnetta? First of all, just right off the bat, please understand that he is reading a book on the Coptic people. Look at the title. Why don't you put the title of the book up again so you can embarrass yourself one more time?
Don't worry. We're going to read the. No, yeah. Look at this, y'all. See,
The Coptic language. Listen, I don't even know if he understands that he's beating himself up.
Oh, well, we're gonna see about that.
When we talk about the Kemetic
he
language,
still doesn't get it. Still does
we
not
see
get
it
it.
actually
That's the
attested
crazy stuff.
at somewhere around 3200 BCE. The Coptic language is new. The Coptic language is new. How does he think that he could look at any book that says the Coptic language and try to understand the Kemetic language? Listen, I'm not even sure if I need to show a slide. I mean, how did he start with something that bad?
Well, I know it's going to be a lot of these effects going on tonight.
Judah Naz, could you please at least get a parachute before you jump out the plane?
All right, I got it. They got Eddie Murphy in the building. See, Judah Naz is here to kill, not make people laugh. And all you crayon chewers in the chat, I'm gonna burp you little babies. I'm gonna burp you bitches and show you that we run this.
Hey, real quick. Family in the chat, let Judah Naz live. Don't block him. Let him do what he do. Only if people are disrespectful. They could disagree, but don't let them be disrespectful. So you can go ahead and open up. Oh, Jabari, was you finished?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, I was so stunned by how bad that opening.
Do you want to start off, Jabari, on just the hotel alone? Or?
Let me go. This gonna be another one-rounder.
Okay, so go ahead, Judah, you go ahead and open up, take the conversation where you want to go.
Can't still be
All right. See, what I told you? The Nile is a filthy river in Egypt that is akin to the Ganges River in East India. It's filthy, okay? And all we do is deny. Now I'm going to show you this right here. He's trying to lie off rip. And when you lie against Judah Nazra, you get caught with a left hook and a right hook to your liver. Let's read the back of this from Cambridge Library Collection. Coptic was the language spoken in Egypt from late ancient times to the 17th century, when it was overtaken by, look, he's laughing. Wait, you can't count to 10 in ancient Egyptian, I can. Why are there Hebrew words? This is why Chris Harris got knocked out 4 rounds straight, because we're the best. Okay, no, hold on, son, listen. Coptic was a language spoken in Egypt from the late ancient times to the 17th
Hey,
century.
Judah, they are saying that your mic is not good. Your mic is definitely not clear coming out.
Yeah, it's the same on my channel. It's the sound of what it is. Maybe I'm in Japan. That's probably why. I'll try to
Nothing
feed a
he did
little.
right now.
All right.
He's making assertions.
Let me talk a bit closer to my son, Jabari. Here, Jabari. Put you on my shoulder. I'm gonna burp you. We're gonna get you right. Okay? I'm an Israelite 24/7. Y'all Egyptians only on HOK. The Coptic language. This is the back from Cambridge Library.
Cambridge Library.
Okay? Judah Naz fake jacks. Coptic was the language spoken in Egypt from late Jabari, ancient times. Ancient means a long time ago, not new, as you tried to lie to these people. Okay? Stop lying no, keep lying. And to the mods, keep blocking. It's not gonna stop this ass whooping. You're gonna get it again 2-0. From late ancient times to the 17th.
Now, I really don't know how he's counting, because he's counting 2-0. I don't know what a 2-0 exactly came from. I mean, it's kind of just started, but apparently he's already winning 2-0 on him. So, I mean, this is crazy. This is some crazy shit that's going on with Judah.
18th century, when it was overtaken by Arabic as the national language. Derived from ancient Egyptian, the language of the hieroglyphs, it was written in an adapted form of Greek script. Now, hold on. Now, just to show you, Judah Naz don't play with these dudes. Get you up out of here. My screen is little. You can clearly see the Coptic and the Greek side by side. There are slight variations, right? It's not the same language, it's the script. Okay? So this brother's trying to lie. And if you go into this, you get the Demotic, the hieratic, the hieroglyphic, the Coptic, you get all that. So all these words like Isis, that's not how you say her name. Horus, that's not how you say his name. Asar, it's Wasar. That's not how you say his name. We even found the word for Nubians in here. It's not Nubia. He don't know how to say this. These dudes is faking jacks. And I'm here as an Israelite Because we got Israelites in quote unquote this fake name Africa from the Afar tribe. He's not from the Afar tribe, and guess what? They're Hebrews, right? They're not Hamites. Okay? We know. Now, before I yield, I want to show you where Judah Naz was the real deal. Young Mike. I'm gonna get you up out of here in 30 seconds, knock you out to the top rope. You're gonna wind up half dead in the cheek seats with your mouthpiece on the other side of the ring. The ref's gonna get knocked out, and Judah Naz is gonna be sitting there looking victorious, as I always am. Why? Because I'm one of the princes of Israel, the best. Now hold on, real quick. Watch this. This is how you beat up weekend Egyptians. You get that Afro-Asiatic language like that Coptic, aka ancient Egyptian. You go get that Aramaic. You go get that Yahweh Dayaf, which they falsely call Hebrew, which is a Greek word. Right? You get that? Hold on, yeah. You get that, which is the same. You get that so-called Chaldean. You get that. And for the special needs sister that was on here earlier, well, how do you know how to pronounce it? Well, because Arabic is still a living language. And before the Romanization, you can see that our ancient language and their language are sister tongues. This is where I'm always going to beat you up on linguistics. Y'all going to come with a whole bunch of freestyling, and that's good. Freestyle your ass off. But when the hooks start coming and you have no counter argument, now the chat, mods, do your job. Block anybody that's intelligent.
Dictionaries and all these books.
Go ahead, Jabari. You at 50%? That's a darn shame. I'm at 200. Let's go.
Later, he gets caught bad. You know, he's making claims, and this is what Jabari does to him. He's listening.
You might have just enough information to make yourself look stupid.
Look at this. Hold on. Y'all hear
and I'm really embarrassed that he did that. Because this.
What do you say? Let's hear him again. What did Jabari say?
You might have just enough information to make yourself look stupid.
What did he say?
You might have just enough information to make yourself look stupid.
Again, what did he say?
You might have just enough information to make yourself look stupid. And I'm really embarrassed that he did that. Because this is the lowest hanging fruit. This fruit is on the ground, Sonetta.
Say it again.
And I'm really embarrassed that he did that.
You what?
You might have just enough information to make yourself look stupid. And I'm really embarrassed that he did that. Because this is the lowest hanging fruit. This fruit is on the ground, Sonetta. Part of the challenge is he even read that the Coptic language is from late antiquity. But see, he only knows the word antiquity. He has no idea when the period late antiquity is. I'm not even sure how. It's almost like I don't want to even fight him. I just want to show him. Because there's sometimes, Sonetta, where beating up on a child, and I don't mean a child disrespectfully, I'm talking about a child in terms of the information that he's learned.
No, Jabari, he's a child.
It's just, it's no longer fun. It's a little embarrassing. I'm going to share my screen really quickly, Sonetta. Let me just do this very quickly. And Judah Naz, before we argue.
Now, how many debates have you watched, right? Where your opponent says this is embarrassing. Like, I almost don't want to have a debate because I'm gonna beat you up so bad that I really just don't know. I don't know exactly what to do. I don't know. This is gonna be bad. How many debates have y'all ever seen that says somebody said this?
Can you please just listen for a second? I just want you to listen for a second because I think that you're not aware of what some of the terms that you used are. Right? Now listen, I had no idea that he was going to start with what in such an unusual place. I'm really surprised. This is a really good book series. In fact, it's funny because I like this little book. It's called Very Short Introductions, right? Here's the one on biblical archaeology that I like. You can see I like it so much that I even have little tabs in it, right? I just went to the Very Short Introductions website, and it showed, these are scholarly texts, by the way. Look at the author of this particular book on late antiquity, a very short introduction. So is Gillian Clark, author, emeritus professor of ancient history at the University of Bristol.
Okay, so Jabari is showing.
Now, I want you to see what period they're saying late antiquity is.
And look how
They're
he
saying
cites
late
the way he's talking
antiquity
about him. Now let's
is a
see if
period
Judah
from
stands up to
circa
this.
300 to 800. This is 300 to 800 CE. CE. He's not even talking about BCE. The nation of Kemet was unified at around 3200 BCE. We're talking about something that is over 3,500 years earlier. So I know that he's not familiar with what late antiquity means.
Nope.
And I don't want to argue with you, Judah Naz. For a minute before we argue, let me just explain why what you said doesn't fit. Okay? So you seem like you like on coffee. You're really, really excited. But I don't think you understand what you
He's always on coffee.
So he shows us a book of from the Coptic language.
Coptic language.
Let's just go to the Dictionary Britannica. That's all. I'm not even, this is really light work, right? Look at this. The Coptic language, an Afro-Asiatic language that was spoken in Egypt from about the 2nd century CE. Not BCE, CE. That represents the final stage of the ancient Egyptian, the final stage of the ancient Egyptian language. So he is looking at something that is very new and trying to understand something that is just as new. And I don't know why he didn't.
Now, I don't know what Judah's doing. He's doing all of this during the debate, and he's, you know, I don't get it. Like, what would be the purpose of you doing like this? Or what? You're in a debate with a scholarly person, someone with the reputation. And your antics is that of it's just immature. You know what I'm saying? When you're having these debates.
Did that to himself. I don't know why he did that. Let's continue reading. In contrast to the earliest stages of Egyptian, which used hieroglyphic writing, hieratic script, or mnemonic script, Coptic was written in the Greek alphabet, supplemented by 7 letters borrowed from Demotic writing. Coptic also replaced religious terms and expressions of early Egyptian with words borrowed from Greek. By the way, remember I told you that ancient Kemet was unified in 3200 BCE? We have no attestation of Greek at all at that time. We don't even know if it was spoken at all. That's how new Greek is compared to the Kemetic language. That's how new the Coptic version is to the Kemetic language. And that's also how new it is to the Arabic, how old it is to the Arabic language. I don't know if he understands what he's reading. Let me just show you a little bit more. Here, this is also Encyclopedia Britannica. I just want to show you some really simple things. The Egyptian language, an extinct language of the Nile Valley, constitutes a branch of the Afro-Asiatic language phylum. The Semitic, Cushitic, Chadic, Omotic, Amazigh, that's the Berber language. These are the other ones in the language. And look at this, Old Egyptian from about 3000 to 2200 BCE. Please understand those are the dates that I just gave you. This is not just Jabari talking. He's looking at a book that describes a language that is 3,000 years younger than the language he's referring to. And he's saying that the Hebrew people taught the Kemetic people how to read. I don't even understand. Do I really have to do this to him? I'm not even sure, Sonetta, if I should. This is really, really difficult. Let me show you one other source really quickly. Let's look at the Hyksos. Okay, because many people argue, in fact, I'm sure some of the sources that he will use, will argue that the Hyksos were Hebrew people, right? Even sources that he uses, right? I want you to understand that when the Hyksos came to Kemet, they were believed to be illiterate. I don't mean they didn't have a language that they spoke. I'm saying that these are people that did not have their own text. That did not have their own text. That's what I'm saying to you. They did not write in the Hebrew language. They didn't write in any language. So what people have actually have begun to understand is that when the Kemetic people encountered the early Hebrews, they actually had no written language. Yet he's trying to tell us that the Hebrew people told the Kemetic people how to read. Sonetter, okay, this is just stuff I'm just finding very quickly. I'm telling you, I wasn't prepared for such a poor opening. I mean, I wasn't prepared. The bell rang, we left our corners, and Judah Naz tripped on the laces on his boots and knocked himself out. I didn't even swing at him. He did this to himself. Look at this. Egyptian rule, ancient Egypt under the rule of the Hyksos, right? I want you to read very clearly here that when these people got here, I just want to show you that when they got here, you know, I just looked for this, but I'm going to just search very quickly for the word illiterate. Because I want you to understand that the Kemetic people, historians recognize that when the Hyksos came to Kemet, they weren't writing. There is no writing. Oh, goodness. Here it is. Hyksos remained in the Delta. The Hyksos don't seem to have integrated. One of the things about the Hyksos that I think is important is that they were illiterate. They seem to be illiterate. At least we don't have carvings on walls that they've left. And reason I'm pretty sure they're close to illiterate is they carved scarabs, those little beetles that were carved out to be amulets. But usually when you see the Kemetic people carve on these devices that the Greeks called the scarabs, there are lots of words on it. But when the Hyksos came, they didn't carve any words on them. So historians now believe that when the Hyksos got to Kemet, they did not have their own writing form. I don't know how else to describe this to you. I mean, Judah Naz, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, Judah Naz.
All right, Brother Jabari, let's hear his explanation for this.
Please, go ahead.
Hey, I like when the hoteps. That's why they say hotep. They get destroyed. That's what it means in ancient Egyptian. I like when they lie. Now you're about to get knocked out again. You just said that it came from the Greek language. However, there's very few words in the ancient in the Coptic with Greek. Just like the word for netter is supposed to be for gods. Well, in Greek, it's theos. Okay? That's the punch to the liver. Here's the uppercut. 2. He said, let me show my screen. He asked me, what's the meaning of ancient? I'm sorry, of the word for antiquity. So let me share my screen. Okay, when you get up out of here, I know crayon chewers. Y'all mad. Hold on, so how come I can't show my screen? Hold on, let me see. Let me show the screen. All right. I know y'all mad, and I know it hurts. But I'm here to burp you little niggas. Okay? Niggas is lying to our people. Okay? I'm here to tell the truth. Just tell our people the truth. You can't handle the truth. Well, nigga, I can handle it. And I'm going to show you. Okay? The meaning of the antiquity.
Brother Judah, yes. Try to calm down. Try to be respectful, brother. We're not calling names. Jabari ain't calling. That's what I'm saying. You're doing all right. You're doing good. But just try to calm down a little. No disrespecting the people, brother.
I'm not talking about Jabari. I'm talking about them crayon chewing niggas in the chat who need to learn from their master and their lord, Judah Naz. The meaning of antiquity means the ancient past, not modern, Jabari. Especially the period of classical and other human civilizations before the Middle Ages, Jabari. Ancient. Now, for the crayon chewers with the wax buildup in your frontal lobe, I know that's hard to comprehend, but I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you get right. Okay? If you're going to be an Egyptian 24/7, not just on HOK. Okay? Now, watch this. Jabari, can you explain this, brother? What are you looking at there, Jabari? What's that?
Embarrassing.
We're looking at cuneiform.
From who?
Listen, I'm not helping you with your piece. You need to do your work.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought you was an Egyptian. You don't know where this is from? Excuse me, sir. And
I want to say, well, let me say this to you.
I know, so I don't need a sermon. I need a name. Who wrote this?
Did you ask me a question? Do you want to?
Now, if anybody can see how Judah is getting utterly destroyed at this point, you know what I mean? He's getting utterly destroyed, and it's kind of embarrassing.
I asked you who wrote this, sir?
Okay. Now, I want you to understand
that
if you're trying to do a document, Judah, calm down.
No, this is my turn. I didn't ask you a question. I'm not giving you a sermon. Reverend, you spoke already. I asked you a question.
Brother, I'm answering the question.
No, you're not. You're giving me a sermon. Who wrote this?
Judah, come on, brother. Just let the man. You're going to speak. You're going to speak, Judah. He's just trying to get clarity.
Thanks to Adobe Premiere Pro's Essential Sound panel, I'm able to search through Adobe stock.
Now this is what I'm talking about when we talking about Judah, and when we talking about Judah and how he continues to just act crazy. It's I don't know what else to say about it. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know what to say, because when we start looking at Judah Naz, right? The debate that he's be having is just crazy. He's very uncomposed. He's I don't know if he's just making up shit or what, but the shit is crazy. I don't know what he's doing exactly. But whatever he's doing, it is not working for him. We're gonna go to the end of the debate, and you're gonna see how this thing, how it ended for him. You know what I'm saying? Shit, what happened right there? Let's go to the end of the debate. All right. Let's go kind of somewhere in the middle. It don't matter. It don't matter where we end.
Is that people really struggle with history.
It really don't
and
matter.
I almost don't feel bad for them struggling with history. Why? Because they have not taken a history class. To us, as the word destruction is, there will be greater subordination amongst the Negroes. That's from page 52 of the Religious Instruction of the Negroes in the United States by Charles Colcock Jones. Unfortunately, our dear brother doesn't even recognize that while the manacles are off his ankles, while the cuffs are off of his wrist, they are still in his soul. And he is doing nothing more than following the tradition given to him by his slave masters.
Damn.
He makes fun of ancient African traditions. He shows complete confusion for basic history. And he pretends that he is a linguist because he claims that he can speak, he can count from 1 to 10 in a language.
Basic
this is really, really sad. This is really, really sad. He should also know that when you look at ancient languages, just because a word sounds like another word doesn't necessarily mean that that word is the word.
It does when you're
Not only is he looking at Coptic, which I have shown umpteen times. I don't even know how many more times I need to show this, that this is a new language. But he then shows us something that is barely legible on the screen and claims that Hotep actually comes to us as the word destruction. I showed you the online, the app version of Faulkner's dictionary. That's what I showed you. I showed you Faulkner's dictionary. I'm the one that showed you the Meta-Netter in a dictionary. He didn't do that. He showed us some writing on Coptic. What is wrong with him? How do you celebrate when you've kicked your own behind? I
Exactly.
barely had to say anything. I could have just sat here, combing my beard, and this brother would have bloodied his face and head. I think this dear brother needs to take the cross that is out of his nether region and recognize that what he is doing is following the traditions of enslavers. That is what he's doing. And simply because there are a large number of something, obviously doesn't mean that they're quality. I'd like to say that Judah Naz has millions of brain cells. I'm questioning whether that is the case today. But there are millions that are supposed to be in that head that he has. And clearly he has done nothing with them whatsoever this evening. Sonetta,
Which is the crazy part.
I haven't even heard an argument. He started talking about the concept that the Hebrews taught the Kemetic people language. I showed you that the Hebrew language is much newer. He tried to also show you that he could read a Coptic dictionary to understand the Kemetic language. That doesn't.
Now, let's take this point, right? Judah says that, you know, the Hebrews taught the Egyptians language. That's what he says, right? And we know chronologically that the first Hebrew, right, according to them, was Abraham. When Abraham went into Egypt, who did not exist, he did not exist. But based on the literature, when he went into Egypt, Egypt was a flourishing kingdom. It was a flourishing empire. It was flourishing. They had already had language. They had already had art. They had already had architecture. They had already had science. They had already had medicine. They had already had everything. Abraham was in the desert getting away from starvation. That's what he was doing. There's not one time you can tell me in the Bible where Abraham studied at a university or a lodge or he had a teacher. There's nothing that ever said that Abraham ever learned anything. The only person that they said had an education, a formal education, would have been Moses, who never existed. So for them to make this claim is totally fallacious, has no basis, is crazy as hell, and other Hebrews that on other panels will actually start to repeat this stuff that he's saying. That's the crazy part about it. They will repeat the nonsense and the bullshit that he says as if it's true and correct, and it's not. And they'll use the same bad talking points that he used on other arguments. We were on one. I was on the Lions Den. And shout out to my brother JJ7000. Shout out to the Lions Den. But I was on the Lions Den. And we were talking about something Hebrews, Comedics, you know, JJ's getting into it and so forth and so on. And then the next thing I know, they say, well, you can't even practice my eye because you ain't got a pharaoh. Now Chris had already destroyed that that nonsense already on the debate. He had already did that. But they repeated it as if it was correct. That's what's crazy. That is the crazy shit that goes on in these platforms with people. You know? And he's getting utterly destroyed. And you can see people in the chat saying he's winning. He's holding his own. Only on YouTube and only on these streets where you ever see some or hear some shit like this It is utterly crazy. You know, it's crazy. Let's listen to some more.
Doesn't even make a hill of sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. He still doesn't acknowledge that he doesn't know what the term late antiquity or the late ancient period means. He says ancient is ancient. Well, then why would they say late ancient? Why would they use the term late ancient? He tried to stick in there that the Kemetic tradition comes from India. He has showed not a source. In fact, any source he showed, he would look as bad as our dear sister Naphtali. That's what he would look at. That's how bad he would look. I don't know why we continue to argue with these folks, Sonetta, in the Hebrew tradition. I'm really getting to the point where, I mean, I've had a really long day. I actually have my services tomorrow. Sometimes I wonder whether I even need to argue. Because if they talk for more than 30 seconds, they self-emulate. Do you know what self-emulate means? They put themselves on fire. Now, this brother has burned himself.
Now, I said this
and he's dancing.
In the chat. I'm watching this debate.
Folks, if you have learned what the word Jabari, late antiquity means,
I said,
that it means that at the earliest it can be attested as 200
because
CE.
he's beating him up so bad it's not a challenge.
Put the 7 in the chat. Because this brother either doesn't know how to Google,
really saying, man, this is a waste of my time.
Or he just doesn't want to pay attention. Put the 7 in the chat. And Sonetta, all I'm going to say to you, let me say this to you before I...
Let's see. What did he say? Let's see what he said again.
In the chat. Or he just doesn't want to pay attention. Either doesn't know how to Google, or he just doesn't want to pay attention.
Don't know how to pay attention.
Put the 7 in the chat.
Put the 7 in the chat.
And Sonetta, all I'm going to say to you, let me say this to you before we go to the phones. One of the things that I want you to recognize is that sometimes what we're seeing is that people really struggle with history. And I almost don't feel bad for them struggling with history. Why? Because they have not taken a history class. That's all. I wish I could say to you that our dear brother Judah Naz would be better at this, but perhaps he should have taken my class on ancient Kemet. I'm telling you, it starts Monday. Please show this.
If that brother takes a history
flyer
class,
before we
before
I end. It's called 3 Millennia of Excellence. It runs from June 6th to September 19th. It is the history of ancient Kemet. Go to Center for Ma'at, CenterForMaat.com, and you'll be able to take this college-level course on the history of ancient Kemet. You will actually know what the phrase late antiquity means.
That's why they won't.
And you won't actually sit up here with literally nearly 700 people watching and embarrass yourself. He thinks that if he sounds really tough, that
Jabari, you said with how many people watching?
I'm only looking at one of your channels, 700. How many people you got?
It's 1,000 plus watching.
That's even worse, Sonetta. That's worse, Sonetta. This brother has no clue what he's talking about. It's embarrassing. So, folks, I'm ready. I mean, if you want to open the line.
All right, I'm going to open up the lines, but I want to ask the first question, and I got to ask Judah, and I know Judah ain't saying this. He couldn't have said this ignorant statement. I don't believe you, Jabari. So I'm going to go to the source, Judah Naz. Judah, did you say the Kemetic language was started by India?
I said their culture.
Oh, you said the culture of India was started by...
No, the culture of Kemet, he says, comes
The culture of Kemet was started by
Indians.
Can you show us a source, sir? Can you show us a source on your screen?
I already did in the first debate. With
Jabari. Can't show you no
yes, I did. I showed you.
Well, I'm asking you to show it now. Can you show it now?
I have my things, all these right now. I don't have them right now. I'll show it in the first debate. Y'all go back and watch that first debate and watch Jabari sit back, get comfortable, and get the same beating that he got today. He's just trying to appeal to your emotion. You need to come to my class. No, I'll go to your class and tell them, y'all all tomato cans, and this is not African. The Egyptians don't believe in this foolishness. This is all made up in neo-paganism. Bro, stop. Did he say, real quick, hold on, real quick. For everybody watching, this is a biased platform. Go and do your research. Go back and rewatch the tape. Go and rewatch. He keeps going back to points that he already lost over to avoid getting to the new points.
Okay, now here we go. Now, he wants to continue. And I told Sai this. I said, I'm saying in the chat, I'm saying he gonna cuss you outside. He gonna make a video, which I already know, and he gonna say how he beat Jabari. He does this every single debate. Every single debate that he loses, it's a biased platform. Go do your own research, because apparently he didn't. And he says he won. Biased platform, do your own research, and he won. It's ridiculous. It's not how, you know what I'm saying? Man, listen. People that believe that this guy won is on crack. Man, listen, for real. I'm gonna bring it to you raw, uncut. Edpn is not go sugarcoat nothing. I have no favorites. I'm gonna tell you the truth, regardless of what I stand on, which is my eye, which, you know, so it tells me that I need to be correct. He is horrible. Horrible. I have no idea why he this is just bad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just let me stop sharing my screen. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a second. Let me do this. Let me stop sharing my screen. It's bad. I really just don't know how to say it, but when Chris laid him to rest the first time, he should have. You know, when you lose a bout, like you boxing or something, right? And you lose your fight against a champion, MVP Chris Harris, undefeated for the last, I don't know how many, 4 years. The next fight you take should not be against the Floyd Mayweather of HOK. It shouldn't be that one, right? You should go find somebody who you can practice your technique on, maybe spar a little bit, beat them up, you know what I'm saying? Get your points together. You don't go after another champion. And this is you're 0-2 against against African Kemetic scholars, debaters. You're 0-2. You're not 2-0. You lost your last 2. If this was UFC, you'd be out of UFC right now. You'd be done. This is, you know, like I said, man, I don't know what else to tell you about it. But, you know, he gets on here. Let me find a part where, you know, my man was talking about the language. Let me see if I can find the language. Y'all want to laugh?
Because the language does not transcribe many of its vowel sounds. So what we do...
Wait, hold on.
Brother, you don't need no goddamn screen.
Yeah, I got a question. If you let me go on and finish doing what I'm doing.
No, I'm
okay.
Talking, running his mouth. He's not a linguist. Now I can go down. I showed you the parallels. I can go down the whole list of the parallels of.
Now, I'm glad Sai did this, right? Because these brothers always talk about how they can read, right? They all talk about how they can read. Oh, I can read Hebrew. I mean, I can speak Hebrew. I can speak. There's one brother who, man, I forget. He was actually on Lex Vortex. It was Lex Vortex. Judah was on there, and it was somebody else. But the brother was speaking Hebrew. I mean, he spoke it like he was having a conversation, speaking the language. He wasn't reading nothing. He wasn't memorizing nothing. He was speaking it. And these brothers keep saying how they can speak, right? And they can't. So, I mean, hold on, let me see something, right? Let me see if I I got books everywhere. Hold on. Let me see this shit. Where am I? You know. And I was talking to Chris Harris earlier. Let me clean this up a little bit. You know, I was talking to Chris Harris. I was talking to Chris Harris, right? And I was like telling him, you know, about how you can get them to speak. Judah said he can speak. I can't speak. I can speak English. That's what I can speak, right? But I can say these brothers always talking about how they can speak, right? They can speak these different languages. And the first thing they do, and this is the apostle, and I'm glad Sai did this. Sai say, all right, you keep talking about you can speak, then put that shit down. Tell me what we saying right now. Talk to me in that language. And he started to, I can speak. But only thing he kept doing was reciting something he remembered and reading something, right? And that because you can read something does not mean that you can speak the language, right? This is how they sound. This is exactly, and I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna do this again on Hebrew speaking, brother speaking the Hebrew language, right? This right here. You can read this. This is a Spanish book, right? Took this in college. This college course. This was a 101 and a 102 course. It was a full year, 2 semesters, right? I cannot speak Spanish. I can't speak Spanish, but I can read some of it. Patricia, le presto a Jorge Perales, encantada. Igualmente, ¿de dónde? Es usted, señorita. Soy de México y usted, de Puerto Rico. ¿Qué tal, Alberto? Regular. ¿Y tú? Bien, ¿qué? De nuevo. Nada. Buenas tardes, señor Juan. ¿Cómo está usted? ¿Cómo está usted? Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y usted, señor Vargas? Bien, gracias. Hasta mañana, señor Vargas. Saludos a la señor Vargas. Adiós. Hasta luego, Turillo. Chao, Berto. Nos vemos mañana. Buenas tardes. Y me llamo Carmen. ¿Cómo te llamo tú? Buenas tardes. Y llamo Antonio. Muchos gustos. El gusto es mío. ¿De dónde eres? Soy de los Estados Unidos de California. I can't speak fucking Spanish. I can read Spanish, but that doesn't mean that I can speak the damn language. So y'all stop it. Please stop it. And that's what Sai was saying. You can't hold a conversation and speak regular with somebody. You can't speak the damn language. Judah, I guarantee you ask Judah to speak Japanese and hold a conversation, he will be able to do it. But he choked on a big ass bone when he told him to do it the other way, to do it. And this is what he caught the apostle with. This is, you know what I said? Stop lying.
Yahweh is the actual name of our language, the language of Judah, and Aramaic. That there are slight variations, but they're from the same linguistic branch. Hold on. Again, so-called Hebrew and Arabic lexicon. This is how we're able to understand how to pronounce our words because Arabic is still a living language. When you get these tomato cans and mop buckets in here, they want a lot of the people to justify a lie. But they can't substantiate their timeline because they don't even know who a certain pharaoh is to say, well, the certain scholars say it exactly 5 o'clock at 3,100 BCE. Bro, shut up and get that shit out of here and go clean the toilet. The Kemetic Sanitation Department is not qualified to teach our people.
The utter gall, the tenacity to say what he's saying, as bad as he's doing, is totally mind-blowing. Sai right now is looking, let me show you right now. Hold on, let me do this real quick. Let me share this screen for you real quick. Okay, look at Sinetta right here. Look at Sinetta. Sanetta is over here looking like, what in the hell is he talking about? And Jabari, look at Jabari's face. Jabari is sitting here like, brother, are you for real? What the hell? Simon's probably thinking about fucking, I don't know, squirrels and chipmunks and fucking whatever, like, you know, some other shit that he's planning on doing. He's probably tuned this dude out completely because it's ridiculous. He got to bring himself back in because that's how bad this is, right? But let's do it. Listen.
You're lying.
Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Apostle, sir.
All right. What's up, Apostle?
Yeah, every day.
Now, I want, what the hell does this keep going on?
It's no longer fun. It's a little.
Now, I don't know. Oh, hell. Okay, let me stop this. I don't know what the hell's going on with this. Stop this screen. I don't know what the hell is going on with this.
It's no longer fun.
Where's the Apostle at? Let's see where I'm at. Let me see where I'm at. I probably should have lost it. Let me see. Let's see where I'm at. Let's see where we
in there. But we have another source. Okay? Get you deep.
Chris, what is happening here, Chris?
I told you, bro.
Chris, what is happening?
Oh, shit. You're funny as shit, man. Oh, shit.
Hey, Christine, you sit down.
Oh,
Not a Christian book, the Israelites book.
Oh, let's go back. Let's find it.
That's my first question.
Okay, I'm gonna hold on.
CENTER.
Okay, we'll get
Same meeting that he got today. He's just trying to appeal to your emotion.
Pay you Tuesday.
All these right now, I don't have them right now. I'll show you in the
Okay.
first.
And plus, watch.
That's even worse. And recognize from India. He has showed not a source. In fact, any source he showed, he would look as bad as our dear sister Naphtali. That's what he would look at. That's how bad he would look.
And he's looking pretty bad right now.
I don't know why we continue to argue with these folks, Sonetta, in the Hebrew tradition. I'm really getting to the point where, I mean, I've had a really long day. I actually have my services tomorrow. Sometimes I wonder whether I even need to argue. No clue what he's talking about. It's embarrassing. I could say to you that our dear brother Judah Naz would be better at this, but perhaps he should have taken my class on ancient Kemet. I'm telling you, it starts Monday. Please show this flyer before we
He should take
it's called
something.
3 Millennia of Excellence.
He should
It
really
runs
take
from
something.
June
Take
6th
something.
to September 19th.
This
This
is
is the
ridiculous
history
shit.
of ancient Kemet. Go to Center
this is what I want y'all to hear, right?
CENTERFORMAAT.com, and you'll be able to take this.
This course, you know, I've been trying to call my brother Jabari. My work schedule was hectic, but I'm going to take at least one. I think I really need to take the whole course, but my schedule is really busy, and I just don't know how I would be able to, you know, fulfill that course requirement to be there every single day because it's live. It's not something that you just, you know, tune on YouTube. But everyone should, if you really want to know about ancient Kemet, you should really take this course, right?
College level course on the history of ancient Kemet.
Same meeting that he got today. He's just Aramaic, a little Arabic. It doesn't mean modern. And knocking his head as if it doesn't mean that, but I know English, the language too, bro.
Wait, hold on.
Modern.
Hold on.
And knocking his late, middle, up, antiquity means ancient. Okay, it doesn't mean modern. And knocking his head.
Now he's trying. Now here's the thing, right? You done already lost this one, and you lost it when you first did it. Jabari already showed you what antiquity means, right? And he's still holding on. He's holding on to that life raft, but he's already went to heaven. He just don't know he there yet. Somebody should have woke him up and said, "Hey, let that one go. Just keep moving, and maybe nobody won't notice." That's what should have happened just then. That's what should have happened, but apparently it didn't, right? Because no one is telling the brother. They should have Snapchat him or text him or something.
Hey, as it doesn't mean that, but I know English, the language too, bro. I speak multiple languages. You don't. Now
you heard that, right? He speaks multiple languages. Multiple languages.
Again, it's real quick. You guys say he's a great teacher, but you haven't learned nothing about what Kemet is, and you're never gonna learn because he's never gonna.
What languages you speak, Judah?
Here's the question: what language do you speak? Now I'll give it to the brother. I'm sure he probably speaks two, right? And that's Japanese and English. He's married to a Japanese woman. He lives in Japan. He should speak Japanese, right? And English. That's it.
I speak Japanese. I speak English. I speak so-called Hebrew, some Aramaic, a little bit Arabic, and a little bit of Latin.
So now he's saying that he speaks certain languages, and watch what happens.
Speak any African languages?
Afro-Asiatic, quote-unquote Hebrew, Aramaic, a little Arabic.
He's going to repeat himself.
So, and a little bit of Amharic, which is the Ethiopian.
I gotta do another video on this. Just this part. And 146. I gotta do.
Okay, let me bring in the first caller. Peace and Black
Can
Power.
you put this on the screen real quick?
Hold on.
I just want you to know that our dear brother has said that he was going to show us that Kemet comes from India. This is, once again, what Hebrews often do. This is the wimpy defense. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Just listen, if you actually have the source, show the source, brother. This is Sound of the TV studios. You know what we say? Source up or shut up. At this point, you need to shut up. Because this is
All
great.
right. All right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, what's up, son? That's me, Chris Harris.
What's up, Chris?
What's going on? Thank you.
Now, this is where things get interesting, right? And like I said, Chris has already beat him up once, right? And then Chris is finna beat him up again, right? But he been talking about how he beat Chris and how Christina and all this other stuff. And watch what happened.
Thank you, Jabari. I really don't know what this gentleman's argument is tonight. Seems to be a little bit all over the place. But I want to ask a question because he continues to make these assertions into history by stating that the Hebrews taught the Egyptians how to write. Let me before I ask the question, let me let it be known. The Hieratic script is the 3rd millennium BCE. Coptic comes around sometimes and develops after the Hieratic script. The Hebrew script that they use today comes from a man named Eleazar ben Yehuda. He was the one who revived the Hebrew script. And he, in fact, used Arabic Sanskrit and Yiddish to create the language that you all have today. The Aramaic text comes around in the 1st millennium BCE. So how could the Hebrews, who never existed, teach the Egyptians how to write when they already had a writing system that dates back to the 3rd millennium BCE? That's my first question.
Okay, hold on. So am I being heard or?
Yes, we hear you.
All right, here's one of my sources here because these guys, you gotta remember, these fake Africans who don't do nothing African, they come to lie to our people, 10%, the black devil. You gotta get them out of here, bro. You're lying. Here's an article called Fake Silhouettes. This is just one of them, by a Hindu, V. Krishna Kumar. As we discussed earlier, the resemblance of Osiris to Paridavas, Lord Krishna, and Mahabali. We should discuss the other possible mappings to Osiris to Indian gods. This is just Osiris. I didn't even get to the rest of them. Remember I showed y'all that secret Isis temple in India? Remember I showed y'all Amun Ra is called Yaman from India? Remember that? Because he's not part of the Ennead. which is not, well, y'all don't know what the need is because y'all don't study Kemet, right? I know, right? And then you come in with these fake dates. Bro, get out of here. Show me in any Egyptian writing where they write down a date.
Now, let's look at this, right? When we read this article, what it says is, we have discussed earlier the resemblance of Osiris to Pandavas, the Lord Krishna, and Mahabali. We shall discuss the other possible mapping of Osiris to Indian gods. It says it found a resemblance. It says nothing about nothing. It says nothing about, you know, India gave Kemet their gods. Once again, it says, we have discussed earlier the resemblance of Osiris to Pandavas, Lord Krishna, and Mahabali. That's all it says. He shows nothing at all that Osiris comes from India. And yet, we'll have Hebrews out here repeating this garbage because they ain't read the article. And Jabari and Chris been killing him on his own information. Die by your own sword. But damn, don't. It's just, it's frustrating. For a person, I love debates. I love to learn from people who know more than me, and most of you guys do. But I got the common sense, and I can research and read, and I have comprehension. And this right here is crazy. Where do you get this from? Let's continue.
Bro, get out of here. Show me in any Egyptian writing where they write down a date. They don't. Look, you can clearly see here, they're showing the parallels between one Hindu god and Osiris. This is just one. Oh, don't make me get into that God of Mendes where y'all was having, well, that's not.
Okay, let's do it, right? So it says, there are three most sacred, Ranjanadaha temples in South India. I can't pronounce that other one, I'll even try it. It says, which the islands of the river of Kavari, several of the sacred shrines of Osiris are in the Delta region, right? And it says, there are sacred shrines of Osiris in the Atharabizes, how you pronounce that, which is an island in the Delta region of the Nile, right? That's what it says. The call from the Irish is calling the tamarisk tree in the Delta region. The particular tree was very sacred to Egypt and the worship in the temple in the Delta region. So once again, none of this says what he is trying to make it say. Nothing. And he highlighted it as if it did. Right? The Apis bull of Memphis, another Delta town, was seen as the manifestation of Osiris. What does that have to do with India? This is
Y'all, where they were having sex with goats. We're not going to get into that. All right? I can go into a second. I can keep going, but you know.
I bet not hear one Hebrew bring that damn article up. I bet not hear one damn Hebrew bring this damn article up talking about some damn Osiris and India.
There was one other point he said. Y'all want to see a second source? Because this is not the debate. Right? This is called when you're getting whooped up. You try to go somewhere else. But because you have to go somewhere else, I'll acquiesce to it. Let's go. Because beating you guys up is just too easy. You're not an Egyptian. You hate Africa. And you're not doing nothing the Africans are doing. Watch this. Okay? You remember this, Jabari? Because I showed you this in the last debate we had. Ancient Origins. This is ancientorigins.net. The Egyptian goddess Isis found in India. Okay? You go on down. I'm trying to get rid of this. The possible image. Hold on. The worshippers of Isis Patini. Now we just showed you Isis and Osiris, who are brother and sister, and had a child, which is really weird. But it's in Hinduism.
Now this is what's crazy, right? This is what's crazy. Let's go back. A little bit, so it says, right? It says the worship of Isis and Patini. You might be curious to learn what may have happened to the original worship of Isis Patini. Did they survive? Did they become Buddhists? Did they, when Hinduism took over in these parts, again converted? Right? What part of this article, anywhere in here, says that the Egyptians got this from India? What part in this says has a timeline, right? None of this. None of this. Even when it says coincidentally, this was almost the time in Egypt and elsewhere, Egypt and elsewhere in the classical world where rites of Isis were performed to open the sea of trade. It doesn't say that India gave Egypt Isis. Man, I'm telling you, if any one of y'all repeat this garbage, y'all gonna get lit up.
Sister and had a child, which is really weird. But it's in Hinduism. Hold on, we don't know how this is. Okay, I can keep going on and on and on, but that's not the debate topic. But once again, this is what everyone's trying to avoid. He keeps getting, no one in Africa is doing what he's doing.
What in the hell does this map got to do with Chris' question? What does that article has to do with Chris' question?
They're upholding, wait, I'm sorry, real quick. He sat there and lied again. And he said, well, this guy's not making any sense. Well, I went to multiple sources and showed you that by 2025, the number of Christians are going to double in Africa. So if you're not a Christian or a Muslim doing what the Africans are doing, then you're doing some new neo-pagan foolishness that you need to stop doing because you're misleading our people and feeding them death. Okay? And the Torah is the Israelites' book, not a Christian book, the Israelites' book. They use our book for their religion. And you know what? I don't have a problem with that because that's not my problem. I'm not a Christian.
All right, Sonetta, Jabari, Brother Jabari, did you hear the question that I asked Judah Naz?
Yes,
Look, you act like I didn't answer him.
Hold on. I asked you a simple question.
Did y'all hear what he just said? Did y'all hear? Don't act like I didn't answer. Look at this. Hold on.
Hold on. I asked.
yes,
Look, you act like I didn't answer him.
Hold on. Naz.
Look, you act like I didn't answer him.
Hold on. Judah Naz.
Look, you act like I didn't answer him.
Now there will be some people out here that say he answered that question. Y'all need to leave them drugs alone. Stop eating mushrooms. Y'all need to. There is no possible way that a person who is paying attention would agree with Judah saying that he answered that question.
Hold on. I asked you a simple question. I asked you and I gave you dates, and Jabari can back this up, and any educated person will be able to back this up. And you avoided my question, and that's fine. So my next question is going to be, can you show me an original Hebrew script that predates that of the Egyptian Medu in the 3rd millennium BCE to the 1st millennium BCE? Can you show me an original Hebraic text?
No, because you've never seen a Medu. So you would have to show me a Medu for me to.
Thank you very much.
Exactly.
My third question to you would be
Now, y'all see how Chris just moved on? Chris was like, hey, can you answer this question? Can you show me a metanoia or a Hebrew text, 3rd millennium BCE? Oh, you never, okay, great, moving on. Oh my goodness. This is must-see TV, dude. Must-see TV.
What is, you don't even know what Medu even, see what I'm saying? These guys be lying. That's why they're getting their asses kicked. You can't lie in your whole life. Sometimes you got to stand on truth. The word God means to speak. Okay? To speak. And that's magic. You don't even know that. Magic and spells. You don't know magic. And you know what?
This is somebody that is definitely lost it. I mean, I just don't get it. He asks you a question. Can you ask the question? Can you not ask the question? Do something, right? But you just went on a tangent about something he ain't even asked about.
In Africa, they're Christians and Muslims. So stop faking jacks, stop praying on Ronald Reagan, and get your mind right. Stop cooning, nigga.
All right, hold on. Brother Jabari. Hold on, Chris. No, hold on, Chris. Let Jabari go. Jabari, go ahead, Jabari.
1 second. Now, family, you already know what I'm gonna do. You already know what I'm going to do.
Use your own source against you.
I could telegraph the right cross and he still gets hit.
Show it.
Please share his source.
Show it.
Paul, share the source on that. You should know that this source is not a scholarly source. It is a WordPress source by a person. Now, I'm not going to go into who he is. I don't need to insult the person that wrote this. Because what I really need to do, Sonnetter, is insult the person who showed it. Why? He showed us this site that says faint silhouettes, Osiris and Krishna gods, and Hindu gods. And he starts here. We have discussed earlier the resemblance of Osiris to Pandavas. Let's look at what he says here. Here's the article, right? The Mahabharata and the Osiris story of Egypt. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I want you to this is what he was saying earlier. We map Mahabharata story to Osiris story. But let's go to his conclusion. Because obviously, dear brother, either cannot read or did not read. Either cannot read or did not read. I want you to keep reading here. Here is his analysis.
Emotional, damn.
The stories of the Dharavupadi cult are far more close to Osiris, the Osiris story than the Sanskrit story. We have dedicated a separate article where we study the similarities of Osiris story and the Dravupadi cult article make our claim more precise. It suggests that the Mahabharata must have had its origins in the Egyptian story.
Damn. I gotta do it. Emotional, damn it. Now, that's a dagger. That's a beheading. That's a hanging. That's a lot. That is a lot, Jabbar. Man.
It suggests that the Mahabharata must have had its origins in the Egyptian story, not the quote-unquote Egyptian story in the Mahabharata. Our brother doesn't even read his own sources. The source insists you. I'm gonna read what you read. You have to read what I read.
And he still is running around here like he did something like he won. This is what's crazy. Somebody in a Hebrew camp, please talk to this brother. Talk to him. Tell him to stay off the internet. Go read. Go do something. This should be embarrassing to the whole Hebrew community, right here.
I had to show many sources tonight because the sources you have shown show us that the argument you are making is not made by the source. The source is saying that it goes the other way. Why do I have to do this every single time? Sonnetter, I do this every single time. Read your sources. This is simple. I didn't bring up this non-scholarly source. You did.
Okay.
And your non-scholarly source says that the stories of ancient India must have come from Kemet. Read.
Okay. That's right. Now we're going to have you read. What about that second one with that ISIS in there? But we have another source. Okay?
This brother said, okay, you kill me with that source, but what about the other source? Oh my goodness. You can't make this shit up. Hey, I gotta do another video tomorrow on this shit. This is ridiculous. This brother said, look at the other, hold on, y'all. This is,
Get you deep.
look at this.
We have a no.
Look at this.
That's
Look at
right. Now we're gonna have you read.
What do you say?
Read.
Okay.
Read.
That's right. Now we're gonna have you read.
Read.
Okay. That's right. Now we're gonna have you read. What about that second one with that ISIS in there? But we have another source. Now we're gonna have you read. What about that second one with that ISIS in there? But we have another source. Okay? What about that second one with that ISIS in there? But we have another source. Okay? Get you deep.
Chris, what is happening here, Chris?
Y'all can't make this up.
What is
You can't make this shit up, man. This is crazy. I gotta do a video just starting with this. I messed up.
Hey, Christine, you sit down and let your.
I messed up. I gotta do a video with this.
Share my screen. I'm gonna share my screen again and show another source.
You gonna show another
Okay?
source?
Beat you down, beat him down. You dudes are not Kemetic. You're not African. You're faking jacks. Y'all pray to Ronald Reagan. Here's the I think it's called Vedas. Vedas. No, you can't speak Egyptian or Vedic. Be quiet, bro. You speak English only. Ned Flanders is your great grandfather. Okay? I'm more African than you. Okay? Yeah. Wait,
Hold on, Chris. Let him go. Come on, Judah.
Wait, I'm showing that source.
Yeah, I know. You showing right now.
All right, here we go. This is another source, and I can keep going, but this is not the topic of the debate. Remember, he can't show an Egyptian source saying the Egyptians got it from us. He can't. He doesn't have a counter argument. This is what I'm telling you. That law class works. You can get these dudes up out of here. They're just going to deny. That's why he has to substantiate my position. And I'm going to beat him up again.
Okay, so he keeps saying he says, law of course, and he getting this from the Lion's Den, where there was a brother on there, I think his name was Zion, and Zion has some experience or education in law, and he would say, submitting into evidence and so forth, and whatever, not admissible or whatever like this, and so he's using this, but once again though, he's using it incorrectly, right? He's using it incorrectly, and he's showing sources, but not even showing how it connects or how it's valid. This is totally ridiculous.
You see someone drop 3 bombs in his head? Get him up out of here. Told you, why is ISIS and Osiris being worshipped in India? Here's another source: Vedas and the Egyptian pyramids. For those who don't know what the Vedas are, that's the Indian writings. We see, who is this, Narmer? Who's he beating up on? Some more Africans. Okay, because that's what y'all hate Africa. Let's keep it going. I don't have to read the whole thing. Did Indians build the pyramids? I'm not saying they are. According to a source I have, it says that the Egyptians built the pyramids in 20 years. After an oppressive pharaoh closed down all their temples and pretty much put them in slavery, because that's what was going on in Egypt. But we all know that. We don't lie over here. The pyramid texts are unique. Those who read it will be reminded of the Hindu Vedas. They are presented in the form of utterances, declarations, in either the voice of the kings or gods. Remember, Pharaoh is supposed to be a god. Right? Now, y'all can go on and read. I still have more sources. I have a big folder here. But this is not the topic of the debate. I can keep on going.
He hasn't read that shit.
Why are Indian gods in Kemet? Why? It said that the pyramid text is reminded of the Vedas. If I look up which is over the Vedas or the pyramid text, what do you think it's going to say?
The pyramid text.
Okay.
Look at it.
All right, well, let's see.
He's telling him to look at it.
Okay. We'll see if anybody's reading the pyramid text.
He's telling...
And who's translating it?
He's telling him to read it. This dude is... Oh, my God. This is... Somebody call Yahweh.
What is it, Bhagavad Gita?
Call Yahweh. Call Elijah. Somebody help this brother. Jesus, somebody. He needs some milk.
What are you laughing at? Eddie Murphy's not in here. You dying. No, I know. You know.
Read that. Had he continued to read that, Jabari, that source that he used would have daggered him again.
I know.
Christina,
I'm looking at the source
Christina,
here.
what position? All right, hold on. Let Judah finish. Let Judah finish, y'all.
Let Judah finish
Okay?
himself.
Get these bums out of here. The Bhagavad Gita is the oldest known text of mankind. Didn't say the pyramid text, bro. Matter of fact, I know the pyramid text is not that old because they had to add Horus as a kid. Excuse me?
Look at your source. Read the source. That's even Korah, by the way. But look.
Okay, let's keep going down.
Read what's on the screen.
Let's keep going down, sir. It's not going to help your case because you can't read the pyramid text, but they still know their language. So you can't say who did what.
Oh.
I know you're dead, bro.
This is utterly horrible.
It says the oldest, bro. It didn't say the pyramid text is the oldest. Y'all wasn't reading and writing, as Josephus just said. And the Dead Sea Scrolls said. Now, you can't even read the Medu Neter. You don't even know what it even means.
He still hasn't shown.
I know you're
anything.
dead. Every time you come with that counter argument and knock you out. Okay? Now, I'm sorry, people, y'all haven't learned what comedic science is because they're not really comedic. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry y'all had to see a running and dancing and a whole bunch of emotion and have Chris come in and try to save him. But remember, Chris got knocked out 4-0, and it was a 3-round fight. These bombs are not ready for the God. All praise to Yahweh God. The Israelites run this shit.
All right, Jabari, you want to respond before I bring Chris back?
Sure, Son Netter. I don't know why I'm doing this anymore. I'm kicking a baby at this point. I'm just kicking a baby. There comes a point where it's not even fun anymore, right? Here's the Veda, right? The Veda's tradition. It's a collection of poems or hymns composed in archaic Sanskrit by the Indo-European speaking peoples who lived in northwest India during the 2nd millennium BCE. Now look at this. No definite date can be ascribed to the composition of the Vedas, but the period 1500 to 1200 BCE is acceptable to most scholars. Now this is from Britannica, the easiest source for me to pull right off the bat. Let's look at the pyramid text, which I call the Merkutu text, by the way, because pyramid is a Greek word, but I'm not even going there. It says here the text inscribed in the walls of inner chambers of periods are found in Saqqara in several 5th and 6th dynasty periods, of which Una, the last king of the 5th dynasty, is the earliest known. Can we look at the date at which this occurs?
You don't find that
2465 BC.
You don't find that suspicious?
This is at least 900 years earlier than the Vedas. At least Son Netter.
How do you?
Why is he doing this to himself?
How do you bring up sources and continue getting?
I don't even understand why he keeps doing this. By the way, if you looked on the screen what he was reading, it even said to you, it said to us that the Vedas are newer than the quote-unquote pyramid text. That's why he didn't read what was on the screen from Korah.
He should not be
when he does his Google, he just,
for any
you have to read this.
And get on the debate representing. This is horrible.
Judah, go back to the drawing board.
Sir, you're going to get clapped because you're lying again. You just, like he said, in the court of law, you can't come in and say to the judge, well, I really don't know the date of when the Bhagavad Gita was written.
That's not what I said.
But you don't have any evidence to support your... Sir, excuse me. You did not give a date. You know why? Because it doesn't give a date, just like the pyramid text doesn't give a date. You guys are relying on white scholars, and even Chris knows, David Rawls says that the dating periods y'all assigned to Kemet are freaking wrong. Where's Pharaoh Sheshi at, Jabari? No, you can answer that. Where's Pharaoh Sheshi at, Jabari?
Who?
Pharaoh Sheshi.
Sheshi?
You don't know one of the most famous pharaohs of Kemet?
Sheshi? Who are you even talking about?
So you don't know Kemet then? Chris, you know who Pharaoh Sheshi is, don't you?
Yes,
Who's he referring to?
Where is it?
Excuse me. Hold on, Jabari, let me answer this question.
Yeah, answer because he's not qualified.
Pharaoh Sheshi or Sheshi was in fact an intermediary king. He was a Hyksos king.
Is that who he's referring to?
Yes.
Oh my God. Why are you even bringing him up?
Because I think he likes to use that argument because I guess he feels like they can't find that pharaoh.
You know there are 300 rulers, right? You know there
So-
are 300 rulers.
Source up. Source up. Source up and show Pharaoh Sheshi. Don't talk and lie to people. Source up.
Wait,
Source up.
hold
I'm
on.
saying source up. They're lying to
Why are you asking about Sheshi?
They found his remains and his writings and things spread all throughout the so-called Middle East and so-called Africa. He was a pharaoh, an actual pharaoh.
What's
Now,
the argument? Make an argument. Make an argument. What's the argument you're making?
your timelines and all that are all folly. You can't even tell me which.
So make an argument. Make an argument. I'm not. You haven't made an argument. You're
What
asking
I'm saying
me
is,
for your sources. Make an argument.
I'm going to source up. You do. Show Pharaoh Sheshi.
Hold on.
And your chronology.
Just watch this for a second.
Wait, excuse me.
All right, watch this.
This is
Excuse me.
no argument made.
Sir, excuse me.
Hold on, Chris. Hold on. Judah's still trying to talk, man.
I know. These niggas is trying to run the game, the flim flam. Bro, source up.
What's your argument? What are we sorting up about?
Your timelines are off, bro. You don't even know who a major pharaoh is. He's one of the most famous pharaohs.
All right, time out.
One of the most famous pharaohs. Why?
Time out, yeah. Chris Harris, go ahead so we can get to the next call.
So now I don't even understand what he's arguing.
I know, that's why we're going to move forward. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
else?
there ain't no argument on it. This somehow. Okay, Judah Naz, are you familiar with the Hebrew text as you have it today? You read from the Stone Edition. Am I correct?
I have a whole bunch.
Okay. Well, the language that you're in fact reading, since you don't want to answer the question, let me educate the audience on that, comes from the Aramaic. That is what you call Aramaic. That's not even Hebrew. Hebrew comes around during the Masoretes in the 7th century CE, and that became the liturgical writing. But the language that you have in the Stone Edition Tanakh comes from the kingdom of Aramea, and the Hebrews were placed under this lingua franca in the 6th century BCE by Darius I, after they returned home from Babylon, because he said, or he figured, the cuneiform script was too hard to decipher, and he did not like the Akkadian script either. So I just wanted to say that you guys don't have an original language nowhere in history. So when you try to use lookership and foundership to try and say that the Hebrews gave the ancient Egyptian their language, that is in fact fallacious, because you don't have anything to prove that. It's in fact an assertion into history, and it's wrong. You should learn historiography before you make those type of statements.
All right, let me go to the next caller.
Let me respond. See, unlike these guys, I can't counter argument and show two sources. See, I don't lie to my people. I don't make money off my people. I don't have no reason to misguide them and mislead them. See, but these, the black white supremacists, they do. Now, this guy doesn't know nothing. See this book here? This is called the Dictionary of Qumran Aramaic. Okay, so it's like a different dialect of so-called Hebrew, which is a Greek word from Hebraicos. So, but he doesn't know that because he only speaks a Germanic tongue. And he doesn't understand what the hell he's talking about. He's just talking, running his mouth. He's not a linguist. Now I can go down, I showed you the parallels, and I can go down the whole list of the parallels of how the Yaf is the actual name of our language, the language of Judah, and Aramaic. That there are slight variations, but they're from the same linguistic branch. Hold on. Again, so-called Hebrew and Arabic lexicon. This is how we're able to understand how to pronounce our words, because Arabic is still a living language. When you get these tomato cans and mop buckets in here, they want to lie to the people to justify a lie. But they can't substantiate their timeline because they don't even know who a certain pharaoh is to say, well, the certain scholars say it exactly 5 o'clock in 3100 BCE. Bro, shut up and get that shit out of here and go clean the toilet. The Kemetic Sanitation Department is not qualified to teach our people. You're lying.
Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Apostle, sir.
All right. What's up, Apostle?
Oh shit! This is what.
Yeah,
this is
evidently Chris
interesting.
don't understand.
All right, Chris is not the debater, brother. Do you have any questions?
I understand. I'm just talking about what he was talking about, sir. Let me say what I'm saying. I'm gonna go on and get with Jabari. Just let me say what I'm saying. Just like my earlier component don't know the difference between biblical Hebrew and ancient Hebrew, or even Paleo, what we call Paleo Hebrew, which is
I gotta
Abayah.
do a video just on this section.
It's just ridiculous talking to these guys all the time because there was nothing before the Abayah and the Paleo. So it's ridiculous, man. And Jabari, number two, Jabari is an African American, a so-called Negro. He's not Egyptian born, heritage-wise, nationality-wise. He's not from Kemet.
Jabari, he never made that statement, brother. He never said he was Kemet. He never said he was from Kemet. None of us make that claim.
I don't need you to do that, sir. He's claiming to be a priest of Kemet. In order to be a priest of Kemet, you at least have to be a nationalized citizen. You just can't step up and say, I'm a pharaoh, and not be commissioned. How you doing that? A pharaoh is a king of that land. How you going to be a priest and you got no calling?
Do you have a question, brother?
Yeah, I got a question. If you let me go on and finish doing what I'm doing.
No, I'm not going to let you go on and finish doing what you're doing. Just ask the question, brother.
I understand. Just like you
because you don't know what you're talking about. Just ask the question, brother.
I know what I'm talking about.
No,
I'm in Hebrew.
I'm in Hebrew. Stay in your lane.
That's right. And that's why I can speak the Paleo language. That's why I know how to use
You can't speak the Paleo. Speak to us right now. Speak to us instead of English. Speak to us in Paleo. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Watch Sai. Sai is finna kill this man. Watch this. Sai said, time out, Jabari. Time out. Let me get him. Let me get him. I'm tired of the BS. Let me get him.
No,
not none of that shit.
You asked me to speak.
No,
I'm
speak
speaking.
to us. Not no damn prayers and none of that other shit.
I tell you what.
Speak to us right now. No, I'm asking you. You the one that said you can speak. You're the one that said you can speak Paleo Hebrew.
And I just spoke it.
All right, so speak the rest of this. Listen to me. Speak the rest of this in Paleo Hebrew. We don't want to hear English. Judah know what you're talking about.
I know. You know what I'm saying.
No.
There's nobody on your show.
What you're talking about.
There's nobody on your show can speak the Metanet.
You're the one that said you speak Paleo. What the fuck you talking about? Don't run to that now. You said you speak Paleo. So for the rest of this conversation, speak to us in Paleo Hebrew, goddammit. That's all you do. Judah can translate it for us. Go ahead.
I just spoke it.
Continue.
And I can continue to speak it.
Continue. Go ahead.
Let me pull up my screen.
No, we don't need no goddamn screen.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Just say, I just spoke it. Let me speak it again. Say that in Paleo Hebrew.
Call themselves commission.
No. You didn't hear what Jabari said, brother. Say it. Tell him again, Jabari.
Why don't
tell him again?
You just said, I just spoke it and I'm going to speak it again. Let me pull up my screen. Say that in Paleo Hebrew.
Barashit, bara, alahayam, wayet, ashamayam. No, excuse me. Barashit, bara, alahayam, et, ashamayam, wayet, correct. And I can tell you what I just said.
What you said?
That is brother.
What?
What was that? What you just said?
He said a section of
in the
prayer.
beginning.
I recognize the prayer.
Hold up, Jabari. Hold up. Listen. What he said?
I said, Barashit, that means in the beginning. In beginning. Bara, created.
Man, get the hell out of here. Get your ass off of here. That's not what Jabari told you to say. You memorize some shit, just like those who want to be Muslims. They memorize shit and they say, oh man, I speak Arabic. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillah rahmanir rahim. Nigga, Muslims do that shit all day. So-called American Negro Muslims. That's not speaking Arabic. That's memorizing your goddamn prayer. Who you think you're talking to, brother? Come on, man. I know my prayers in Islam. That don't mean I speak no goddamn Arabic.
What is happening?
Hold up. I have not memorized Genesis 1 through 5.
All right, let's go, man. Do you have a question, brother? We got to move on.
Listen. I have not memorized Genesis 1 through chapter 5.
I need you to ask a question.
I'm going to read it. No, listen, I'm gonna read it. Let me read it.
No, brother, we
in
gotta go. I gotta go, brother.
See, you don't want to do that.
No, I don't
You
want to
don't
do that. I
Jabari.
want you to ask your question, brother. That's all I'm asking you. Just ask your question so we can move on to the next caller. This is not your show where you begin to take the conversation somewhere else and begin to start teaching some other shit. Do you have a question, Apostle? And see, when I do this to Apostle, people be like, "Oh, sorry, why you doing this?" And why? No, I'm trying to get the brother to stay on track. Do you have a question?
No, yes, I have a question.
All right, ask your question.
All right, be quiet. Jabari, do you speak the Methanetter?
I want to be really clear that the Metanetter is mostly a written language today. What we do is we actually approximate how the language sounds. But it is very difficult for us to know exactly how the language sounds because the language does not transcribe many of its vowel sounds. So what we do is we input the vowels in order to speak it. And so I'm not going to say to you that my rendition of the Kemetic language is precisely how it would have sounded in the ancient world. We are trying to recreate and reconnect the language. Sonetter, by the way, the same thing is what happened to Hebrew. This is what Neo X was trying to say earlier when our dear brother Apostle was either, I gotta cut it straight to the quick right now because it's over at 12 o'clock, either too daft or it had too little ability to hear what she was saying.
Apostle on that too.
Ancient Hebrew is a dead language as well. And you also cannot speak ancient Hebrew. It is now, similar to the Metanetter, it is now a language that can be read, but not spoken. Why? Because ancient Hebrew, just like the Metanetter, does not transcribe many of its vowel sounds. Why? Because when the Hyksos came to Kemet, they couldn't write a darn lick of anything. They learned how to do this from the Kemetic people, and that language died as well.
See, that's the bullshit that Sarnetta lets Jabari get by with. I just asked Jabari, can he speak it? All you do is say was yes or no. No, stop. He did not.
This is what happens when you got incoherent audience and callers that come in. Jabari clearly answered the question, and he just didn't accept it. So when that happens, just move on. Just move on.
Bloviated. And then he went on and started talking about some bullshit about Neo X. Neo X showed.
All right, you ain't got no more questions, Apostle, man. Do you have any more questions, brother? Well, go ahead.
I responded to what he said. Then stop, Sonetta.
No, it's not no fucking stop, my man. I'm trying, we got to move forward. You're not up here to give a goddamn sermon, number one. You're not here to give a sermon. You ain't no goddamn Hebrew Israelite. You just a nigga on the street. All you niggas are niggas on the street. Y'all don't preach nothing about no righteousness at all. You only memorize the Bible, you memorize scriptures, and you think you're a fucking Hebrew. You're niggas that come off the goddamn street, still smoking dope, still smoking cigarettes, still drinking liquor, and then you want to talk about you a damn high priest. You're a nigga on the street. Stop the bullshit. You're a nigga on the corner.
I never got angry.
You changed your goddamn name to my name is Billy Bob. You a nigga, you're Billy Bob, nigga. You ain't no goddamn apostle. Now you're apostle now. Come on, man. You're Billy Bob, nigga. Stop the bullshit. Get the hell out of here with this crazy shit.
I got angry. That is
this shit. I ain't talking about you, Judah. I'm talking about this shit is just crazy to me with these niggas,
really
man.
Crazy. It
Damn.
really is crazy. I don't even know what else to say. It is crazy. It is crazy. You asked
Billy Bob calling in here with this crazy shit, man.
I mean, it's crazy. And Sonetta, can I say for like the 80th time on your channel, I am not saying that my great-great-granddaddy was King Tut. I'm not saying that. I am an African, and I have chosen an ancient African spiritual tradition as the one that I will cleave to. My family most recently came from West Africa. I'm very clear about that. There's nothing wrong with that. I follow a tradition that comes from ancient Kemet. And by the way, when you get to much of West Africa, they say their traditions came from ancient Kemet too. I'm not doing the same thing that the Hebrews do and say, we're all Hebrews, so we practice Hebrew tradition. That don't even make any sense. It makes no sense.
All right, peace and black power, family. What's your name? Where you calling from? How many more callers, Jabari? How many more callers, Judah, y'all got?
I got so much work to do. I mean, I can't even understand.
I mean, the brother's been lying all night. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right, hold on. Peace and black power, family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Charles, calling from Portland, Oregon.
All right, what's your question, brother?
My question is, I got a question for both of them. You know, I'm not a linguist or anything like that, but I know that there are no vowels in Middle Netter, Kemetic language, or in Hebrew. So I'm wondering, I got a question for both of them. Where are they getting the vowels from?
let me answer first because I can speak my language and his. Anyway, we have two vowels. And then we have
Judah, you speak Hebrew?
It's Al-Dayath.
Huh?
And what do you want me to say? And I'll say it.
Do you speak Hebrew?
Can or can't.
You speak the original language of Hebrew.
I'm not fluent, but I can speak it.
All right. Answer the question answer the question. Hold on, brother. Answer the question in Hebrew and then translate it. Go ahead.
All right, brother, ask me the question again so I can answer you.
You said ask it again?
You don't know the question that he just asked?
Did someone say answer him in Hebrew?
I asked you, where did you get the vowels from in ancient Hebrew or even and the Meta-Netter? Because there are no vowels in the language, so where are either one of you getting the vowels from? Who gave them to you? Because neither one of you know an ancient Hebrew or ancient person from Egypt. So who is giving you that language?
All right, for one, there's no such language called Hebrew.
Explain it in the Hebrew. Explain
All right. You want to hear in Hebrew?
Yeah.
We say there is. There's like multiple ways to say there is. I'm thinking in like Japanese now with Cote d'Ivoire. I'm sorry. I need Hebrew.
Yo, y'all crazy.
I need
Hebrew.
Yo, y'all. Yo, y'all crazy. Yo, y'all crazy.
Because listen, y'all only speak English.
Leave Judah alone. Go ahead, Judah.
Let me answer.
I'm gonna leave it there. I'm about to end because I'm gonna need to do one tomorrow of this. But man, I mean, like seriously, right? These brothers on here got caught, got busted, and got locked up. As Kevin Hart say, you going to jail today. You going to jail today. So we will call it for the night. I'm gonna do another one just on this. I'm gonna try to get my boy Chris Harris, Melvin Jefferson, try to get some guests on, and we will have some fun with this. We will do it again and see what's going. You know what I'm saying? So y'all take it easy, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. This is Brother Daniel Haru, Edpn, Entertainment and Debate Programming Network. See you on the flip side. Hey, and no Hebrews better not be quoting this man ever again.